I'm Asterales Sedai of the Yellow Archer. Here is a recap for non-book readers of Season 1, Episode 1, Leavetaking, of The Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime. If you're like me and can't get enough positive Wheel of Time content in your life, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Spoiler warning, I will be discussing characters and events from Episode 1, but nothing that happens differently or later in the books. This is safe as long as you've seen Episode 1. Let's go! The cold opener shows the character of Moiraine Sedai getting dressed in the White Tower. She explains in voiceover, "The world is broken. There was an apocalyptic event kick-started by a man called the Dragon. He or she has been reborn, but they don't know where. Just that they need to be found." She's joined by Lan Mandragoran, her warder or bodyguard figure, and they walk off into what look like super fancy indoor stables. Quest accepted. The next scene shows two men being chased by a group of mounted women dressed in red. One of them, Liandrin, appears to reach out, and we see a rock formation falling that cuts off the men's escape. This is the first hint of magic use or channeling in this world. As they talk, it becomes clear that the man was imagining his companion, and he's actually alone. Liandrin taunts him that what he does is for women only, and she's doing him a favour by stopping him. They appear to lash out with more channeling. He screams, and we cut to Moiraine and Lan overlooking this play out below them from a cliff top. She takes it all in, says, "It's not him," and walks away. She tells Lan that their next destination will be the Two Rivers. There's a sweeping scenery shot of what looks to be overgrown skyscrapers, and we fade out to the Wheel of Time logo, with awesome bass rumble. Now we get to see the Women's Circle initiation, or coming-of-age ceremony for girls in the Two Rivers. Egwene Alvia is getting her hair braided. It's all sweet and lovely as Nynaeve Almira explains the significance of the braid, then completes the ceremony by pushing Egwene off the cliff. Egwene struggles initially, but then surrenders and trusts the river to float instead. Two men and a very important horse by the name of Bella walk down a rocky path through the mountains. Tam Althor reminisces about earlier times to his son, Rand Althor. They hear wolves and comment that something must be causing them to come further down than usual. The sun is shining in the idyllic Two Rivers village in preparation for the festival Beltane. Matt Cawthon is trying to engage his friends to a game of dice, but his luck isn't great. Perrin Aybara brings up rumours of war in a neighbouring country. Egwene enters to receive a standing ovation, and it's all fun times and celebrations. These celebrations continue well into the night, but are rudely interrupted by two new arrivals who totally kill the party mood. The innkeeper recognises the special ring Moiraine flashes at her. We've seen this ring at the start on Liandrin, so these must have significance. Moiraine eyes the room, and our various heroes eye her back. One is even ready with her belt knife. It's all very awkward, but the tension is cut when she's shown to her rooms. Perrin enters the forge to check on his wife. They are the village blacksmiths. She looks upset, and he comforts her, touching her stomach area. Pregnancy? Miscarriage? Or just reading too much into a close-up? Matt's family is introduced as being a mess. His mum looks like she's had a few too many, and his dad's openly flirting with another woman. We also meet Matt's baby sisters, and learn that mum's probably been speaking ill of him his whole life. Clean-up time at the wine spring, and there's speculation over why an Aes Sedai would be in the village. Something to do with the war outside, maybe? Rand and Egwene finally get some time alone, and our two lovebirds get to finish up the dishes, as her mum slyly suggested. Cut to hot tub scene. Very intimate, but completely non-sexual. We also see another use of the One Power, gently heating water to perfection. How very handy. Egwene finally breaks her news to Rand. She's been asked to apprentice as a wisdom to Nynaeve. Rand knows what this means. She won't be able to marry him or have children. He walks out heartbroken. A quick, ominous scene of a dark, cloaked rider coming into the village is replaced by a bright and cheerful scene of a peddler arriving the next day. But wait, is he whistling the same tune we just heard for the bad guy rider? Looks like Matt had some itchy fingers from the previous night. He doesn't get as much for the bracelet as he wants, but it turns out he's just trying to source lanterns for his sisters for the upcoming festival. Moiraine and Lan walk around the village. She's still trying to figure out who this special chosen one might be, but Lan's only mission is to protect her. This sheep herder is having the worst day of his life, and he goes up to the mountains alone to process his feelings and mourn over the house, wife and children that he'll never have. Egwene joins him to confirm her decision, but he knew that already and is already mourning the loss. Nynaeve is scrubbing rocks in a cave, and Moraine taunts her for cleaning. Nynaeve tells her what happened to the last wisdom. She was turned away from the White Tower for being poor. We get a glimpse of her fierce loyalty. She's not going to forget that slight. Moraine works out Nynaeve's about 25 or 26. Maybe a bit too old to be the Dragon Reborn then. Egwene is crying alone on a bridge until Nynaeve joins her. They both listen to the wind, but something is wrong, and they don't know what it means. Lan is scouting in the woods, and he finds sheep that have been brutally torn apart and laid out in a pattern. This is the Dragon's Fang. We'll find out what that means later in the series for sure. Perrin and Rand offer Mat some coins for lanterns, which he reluctantly accepts. Moraine is watching the three boys from her room in the Winespring Inn. It's the night of Beltane. Rand and his father commemorate the occasion alone at home in the mountains. We learn about the concept of reincarnation in this world and a belief in a wheel that keeps turning. Back in the village, most are mourning with their family. Nynaeve mourns alone because she has no family to be with. Merry Beltane! It's time for music, dancing, merriment, and more circle imagery. Egwene's dance partner cops a rather large axe to the chest, and just like that, the monsters have arrived. These monsters are called Trollocs. Confusion and terror ensue. There are villagers getting hacked and slashed. Nynaeve pulls Egwene to temporary safety. Perrin and his wife run to their forge, and Mat looks desperately for his sisters, tripping over a Trolloc eating a villager in the process. Everyone is terrified, except for this guy, Padden Fane, the peddler. He seems pretty chill, considering everything that's going on. Back at the Althor farm, Tam and Rand hear Bella the horse has been spooked by something outside. Before they have time to work it out, a Trolloc bursts in. Tam recovers quickly from the initial surprise and is able to initially fend off the large beast. He pulls out a dusty heron-marked sword hidden under the bed. A realistic duel ensues, but he is soon overcome by the Trolloc's sheer strength. Rand finishes off the Trolloc, but not before it has seriously injured his father. Back in the village, a Trolloc yells at Nynaeve and Egwene, and Nynaeve yells right back. Despite fighting bravely, they are about to be overcome when swirls of white curl around the Trolloc, cutting it in two and splashing the women. Gross. We heard Rand foreshadow earlier in the episode that one Aes Sedai can turn the battle on her own, and here we finally get to see it. She's not really alone though. Lan, her warder, has an integral role in keeping her safe as she channels. The fighting is just as hot at the forge. Perrin picks up an axe, and his wife picks up a hammer to take on a Trolloc between them. Mat finds his sisters hiding and brings them to safety by escaping into the woods. More glorious intertwined fighting with Moraine using the One Power and Lan dancing through the Trollocs with his blade. Sadly, Nynaeve gets dragged away by her iconic braid, and back at the forge, Perrin finishes off a Trolloc in a berserker rage before swinging back for the biggest gasp moment of the episode. R.I.P. Perrin's wife, we barely knew you. A Trolloc sneaks a thrown blade into Moraine's shoulder, but she's able to put out one final burst that destroys half the inn in the process. Lan runs to cover her as both she and the inn collapse. The battle is over. Rand walks into the village the next morning to utter devastation. It's a bittersweet reunion with Egwene. Nynaeve is gone, and there is no one to help the injured Tam. Or is there? Moraine swoops in to heal his father's wound. It looks like the One Power can be used to miraculously heal as well. In a rather ungrateful turn, Rand just about accuses Moraine of bringing the monsters to the village. She tells them that the dragon has been born again, and that is one of the four of them. Mat thinks it's a poor joke, but she convinces them to leave with her. The destination? Back to the White Tower, where our episode began. There are neither beginnings nor endings to the turning of the Wheel of Time, but it was a beginning. Thanks for watching. If you liked my spoiler-free summary of this episode, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for future updates. And remember, yellows make the world a better place.